Grant, the guitar guy here. We're going to be doing the D chord, but we're not just going to be doing the D chord, we're going to be doing the D chord. We're going to be doing it in a way that you've never heard it before, potentially. Now, if you've learnt the D chord, here's my D chord. This is normal, right? You're going, Mark, you said you were going to do something cool about this. This is just the D chord. Yes, it's the D chord. We need to start somewhere, but we're going to make it sound way more fun. So most people, when we're doing a song, we get to the D, like we might be doing a chord progression. Let's say it's G, and it's D, and it's A. Okay, we're going G, D, and that's perfectly acceptable, but it doesn't sound what I call professional or very sort of amazing sounding. It just sounds like a person playing through some chords, and it's fine. However, we're going to take it to the next level. Okay, so when you're playing chords, there's always notes you can do and fingers you can put on and off, or the way you strum it, the way you approach it, that's going to make the chords sound way more interesting. So if you've got a bar of music, like 4 beats of music, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, and here's your strum, down, down, up, down. So we're not going to look at the strum today, we're going to look at the left hand, we're going to look at the chording hand. We can make that more interesting just by doing one movement with our hand. Okay, there's lots of things we can do within the D chord. For example, all these different chords that I've got there to make it more interesting, or even add different notes to a D chord to make it more interesting, or hammer-ons, and all of these different things on different levels. We're just going to show you one thing. Okay, that one thing is, there's my D. We're going to lift the bottom finger, which is the second finger, off to make that a 0, which actually makes it a D suspended 2 chord. That doesn't really matter. All you're doing is taking your finger off and putting it back on again. Now with that one trick, we can make it sound awesome. Okay, here's my G to D. Let's just do G and D over and over. So here's my G to D. That was normal. Next time I'm going to take my finger off halfway through. Hear the difference? Now I'm going to go the other way around. See the other way around this time? I went from a D with my finger off to my finger on. Just that one note, okay? We're going to experiment with that one idea over and over. Now there's lots of things we can do with that, but this is just one thing you can do to add to your chords. So if you'd had every chord you could sort of play as in the first position, all these basic chords, and just do one thing to make that sound awesome while you were playing it, it's going to make you sound so much more professional. And that's what I'm all about here at Mark the Guitar Guy. Give it a crack. So there's a D chord. Now take the bottom finger off. So initially you just want to practice getting that finger on and off, and getting used to how that feels. Remember, feeling, programming, all those things I talk about. Then you can try doing it within a strumming pattern. So if your strumming pattern's down, down, up, down, try putting it on and off in different spots. So you might go on the first up stroke, you take it off, for example. Or you might go the other way around. You start with it off and put it on the upstroke. Okay? Hopefully you can see that with my fingers coming off, and definitely hear that difference, that note change. Now there's one other thing we can do with that one same note, and that's a hammer-on. Okay? So now it's a little bit more tricky, but we're doing a chord, and we're hammering on as the strum's happening. So just practice by doing a downstroke with the finger off, and then just hammering on once you're confident. Hammer on with a good note. You can hear the note change. And that sounds in a chord progression like a down, down, up, down strumming pattern, I should say. You can do that hammer on the first strum. See, immediately that chord's not so boring. It's not just D, which is fine, but just adding that little on-off fingering thing, you can even get quite busy, like on-off, on-off. I mean, that's really busy, but why not? Why not? In one bar of that, you might do that. So by doing this all the time when you're practicing, whenever you do a D chord, you have an experiment, little bit of an experimentation with the D chord, having that finger off and on, you'll notice there's times when it's appropriate and there's times when it's not. So I might be doing a G to a D. Can you hear how busy that sounds already? And already you're hearing the things that we were just doing. So it was quite busy, but it sort of sounded cool. There was a little melody happening within the chords. And it doesn't need to be the same as anyone else is doing. Just because the song says, yeah, you play D for a bar and you play A for a bar, doesn't mean you have to play boring old D and boring old A. You can do normal D, but throw some other cool stuff in there. So if you like this lesson and this sounds like the sort of stuff you want to learn, please subscribe to my channel, help support the channel, and there'll be lots more tips on a lot of other chord shapes exactly like this to make your playing way more awesome and professional sounding. Mark the Guitar Guy signing off. We'll see you soon. Go get good at D.